Hey mama, you need someone to relate to? You struggling a little bit? Or maybe you're about to be a mom, a new mom, and you're just trying to see what it's really going to be like with a kid, or just preparing of maybe some struggles that motherhood will bring. Well, you're in the right place. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to be raw and honest on my main struggle as a mom, but how that main struggle just brings lots of other struggles with it. Now, please don't take this as I'm not grateful for my child or that I wish we didn't have a kid. It's none of that. It's simply that I want to talk about some of the hardness, because I believe that a lot of other moms are struggling too, and they're struggling in silence. Things that that you may feel guilty about or nervous to talk about. You don't realize that if you just talked about this with other moms, that then it would let down walls and we could all just be in this together, being like, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not a bad mom. I shouldn't feel guilty about this. Why? Because we all struggle. Real quick, I am a mama to one. She, my baby is a girl. She's my daughter, my only little daughter for now, and she is 13 months old. And so I still somewhat consider myself a new mom. Yeah, I've had a little bit more time than someone who maybe has a 2-month-old, but I'm still learning so much every single month with my daughter. And so getting straight into the biggest struggle that I have dealt with throughout the entirety of motherhood is selflessness. Y'all. I didn't think I was that selfish of a person, and then I got married, and then I thought I got better, and then I had a kid. You will learn real quick where your treasures are, where your heart is, where your priorities are when you have a baby. And why is that? That's because a baby, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say everything, don't take anything offensive. I'm just gonna say as I feel, but a baby takes everything from you. If you're breastfeeding, it literally takes food from you, energy from you, your sleep from you, and your time from you. A baby takes everything. And all your time is devoted to this baby. And you cannot be selfish with your time, because if you were and you're like, I'm just gonna still do all these things that I want to, like, your baby would die. That's intense. But you can't just be like, oh, I'm in the middle of this book, or I'm in the middle of doing work, or I'm in the middle of X, Y, and Z, and your baby's crying because she's hungry, and you can't just be like, I'm gonna skip that. You can't skip it. You are absolutely forced into motherhood, forced into hopefully becoming more and more selfless. And I do believe that God uses kids to make us look more like his son Christ. Oh man, there's so much good in it. But I'm not talking about the good right now. I'm talking about just the struggle of how hard it is to not be able to really do anything like you used to. Over time, sure, you can get back to it, but I'm not there yet. And I don't think I'll be there for years and years to come, because I'll have other babies. So let me just give you some examples of how selfless, what I struggle with, of what this looks like from a day-to-day basis. And you tell me, comment below if you are also struggling with this, or if there's other things you struggle with and you just want to know, hey, have you ever struggled with this? You can comment, or you can message me on Instagram, and I would love to talk with you. One of the struggles for me has been being able to go out and do things. I used to love getting coffee with friends, love going to the store, shopping, or just browsing, going out and about. And that was really hard when I first had my daughter. And now it's still limited. Things are just different. Things have had to change. And in the beginning, it was so hard because I had so much fear about taking my daughter out. And it wasn't because I'm the mom that is worried about germs, or like, you're not gonna hold my baby. Like, I wasn't that way at all. If you wanna hold my baby, I mean, wash your hands. But what was hard was that my baby cried a lot. And so I would get like red chest, like anxious when I would go out with her because I'd be so fearful that she would cry and that I wouldn't be able to soothe her. It wasn't just that like, oh, I had a crying baby. It'd be like, oh, I have a crying baby that I cannot get to stop crying. And so that was extremely hard. So I had to stay inside a lot. And that at times definitely felt lonely. It just felt lonely because you're at home by yourself all day. When my husband went back to work, and even during that whole day, like my daughter stayed on my chest a lot. We had breastfeeding struggles, and so I was trying to bond and connect. And what I learned in that time was another struggle was I couldn't like do anything, honestly. When my husband was at work, what I did mostly through the day was like hold my baby. And then when she got a little older, yeah, I'd put her on a mat and we'd try to do tummy time and all of that, but she hated that for a while too. And so I just couldn't do much with her. I could keep her on my chest or I could bounce her, but even doing something like the dishes, I would put her in the carrier, I'd go to do dishes, but you know how hard it is to like lean over, come up, this, with a baby here? And you know, they can't turn their necks at first, and so you gotta be careful that they can breathe. And then do you know the weight that it puts on your back when you have a baby in front of you during the whole day? It's just hard. That's really hard. And so part of the struggle that I would just get so frustrated with was that I felt like I couldn't do anything like I did before. Like I could not do anything. Just let me clean the house without having to comfort my crying baby. Just let me go get coffee without my husband calling that my baby won't stop crying. Please just let me take a shower without the fear that I'm gonna have to hurry up and be rushed because my baby needs me. Yes, you know that your baby's gonna need you, but when you're going through the motions of it, it's really hard just to give up everything for that child. It's so hard. And something like putting on your makeup that would take you 10 minutes before, it literally could take you 30, it could take you an hour because your baby may wake up from her nap and then you gotta go tend to her. Or maybe then your baby gets hungry and so then you have to feed her. Maybe she has a dirty diaper every 10 minutes and so you have to go change her diaper. And so simple things like putting on mascara, putting on base, putting on your shoes, literally just picking an outfit becomes really difficult until you get in the groove of things, which that is different from everyone. I know some people said 4 months it gets easier. Some people said 6 months it gets easier. My story is first year and then it gets easier. At a year, a lot of things have changed and I feel like I can actually start to breathe some and have some time to myself. Now with that, it's been awfully weird that I've actually felt some mom guilt now that I have more time for myself, but it makes me realize that that first year I gave so much to my daughter that now when I have more time to myself, I almost feel guilty about it. Another struggle within the selflessness or selfishness and all of that is at nighttime, before when you could watch a TV show or read a book or work on whatever you wanted to, you could do that space-free in your mind. Now, even now, with her over a year, when I am wanting to watch a movie at night or a TV show or read or work on some of my business, I literally think every single night, okay, Chelsea, if you do this for an hour, that's an hour less of sleep you get. Okay, Chelsea, well, if you do this for an hour, then this for 30 minutes, and that, well, you can go to bed at, if you try to go to bed at 10 because you don't know if she's going to get up at 4, or she might get up at 2, like, it takes up a lot of space in here. And so before, where things just were easier to do what you felt like you could enjoy, even when your child is sleeping, it takes up space in your head because you're nervous about not getting enough sleep or not having time to do what you need to do. And so I know some people would be like, girl, especially in the beginning, you know, like, let your husband take care of her, give more responsibility to him. But my story and a lot of other ladies I've talked to, those babies, more likely than not, are gonna bond with mama a lot faster, a lot quicker, and a lot longer. So with my husband, I mean, he would try. He really did try. I mean, it was a big adjustment for both of us. Big adjustment. I could do a whole video on marriage and having a new baby. Let me know if you want that, because that'd be a good one. But I would try to give her to him and she would just be throwing a fit, and that would trigger him, and so he'd just be like, you know, like, here, like, take your baby. And I would take her and she would stop crying. So yay, we fixed the problem. Yay, baby's not crying. Not yay, mom has to hold baby most of her life until she gets older. But in the moment, it does feel like that. It's just like I said earlier in this video, like, I want to go get coffee with a friend for 2 hours and just enjoy it. But in that coffee in my head, I just get so stressed that my husband would be calling about my daughter not being able to calm down. And it wasn't like an unrealistic stress. It was like a 4.5 times out of 5 he would be calling or texting, just not trying to like interrupt, just like, I've done these, I can't get her to stop crying, like, how much longer till you're home, or what can I do? And that would weigh a lot on my mind. And that's just the same with like going out. People, you know, tell you to still go out with your baby, and I give that advice too, because I was so fearful. I hope to get out more when we have a second kid. But getting out with Rosie, I'd just be so fearful. So fearful of so many things. It's not wrong to want a break. It's not wrong to need a break. I have felt guilty for this so many times because I felt like the amount of breaks that I need or the time alone that I would need, like other moms didn't need that. And so I felt bad because I'm like, man, how are all of these moms with their kid or kids all the time and takes them out to coffee every time and to these group settings with the kid every time? And I'm like, Blake, can you please watch Rosie? Or Mom, can you babysit for this trip? Or yada, yada, yada. But the more you can talk to moms, and maybe the more we can even connect on here, you can see that, hey, okay, I'm not the only mom who actually needs a break and feels guilty, or I'm not the only mom who needs a break, and that's actually okay. It's actually really good to get a break sometimes, and sometimes can be once a day. It can be once a week. It can be once a month. Every mom is different, so don't compare yourself to one mom to the next. As long as your baby is loved and fed and changed, like, your baby is gonna be fine. So if you're struggling, I see you. If you have anything more specific you want me to talk over motherhood, please comment that below. And let me just remind you that Psalm 127:3 says that children are a gift from the Lord. Could not end this video without doing something encouraging to, yes, here's this load of struggles, but God will get you through it. He gives you the grace, the strength, all of that to get through it, even though it feels like it kind of sucks at times. You'll get through it. Children are a gift from the Lord, and you'll make it out. And it will be worth it. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not talking about all the positives because I could. This is a struggle video, but I also want to encourage you. And so I make videos once a week on live, just as a mother, a wife, and as a Christian. If you are interested in that, please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you next week.